Hi, I'm Jesse at Strobepro.com, and this is the Strobepro Gear Tree Stand. This is a simple single stand solution that makes it really easy to set up for streaming, podcasting, or even tabletop photography. So let's take a closer look at what it's all about. Before I continue, I wanted to mention that the way I have this set up right now is kind of fully loaded. I have 3 arms plus this microphone arm. Now, you can purchase this without this boom arm here. So I'll just pop this off here, and you would still be getting all 3 arms, but this arm is really not going to be useful for you unless you are purchasing this piece, because it does use a 1/2-inch fitting, which isn't very common. It's not like you can just put another spigot in here. It's specifically designed to mount this. So if you're the kind of person that you've got a shotgun mic and you think just taking that off, mounting it to your camera here is going to be fine for you, then we've just tried to save you a little bit of money so you don't have to purchase this. But just be aware that this arm is really not going to be of any use to you then. There's a number of differences between these arms, which makes each one a little bit unique. So I just wanted to go over those really quickly with you. On the bottom one here, you can see that our camera is mounted to the ball head, which is mounted to our riser. I'm going to go over all of that in a minute, but you don't have to use this riser if you don't want to. One of the unique things though is this extra section here. So on this bottom one, we have 3 sections of reach, and the other 2 are just 2 sections. So this just gives you more opportunity to manipulate your camera wherever you need to position it. Moving up to the microphone arm here, this one, again, as I mentioned before, is only going to be useful if you're purchasing this optional boom. Otherwise, it uses a unique 1/2-inch kind of mounting receiver here. So there's not a lot of other accessories that are going to mount directly to that. So you might not even want to put this on the tree if you're not going to be using this boom arm. Moving up to the last one, this one's really unique because, let me get that out of my face here. You can see how easy it is to drop down. But this guy has a standard spigot. So if I just loosen this off, I can take my spigot, which is included. We have our standard 1/4 inch, which I just have threaded into my LED. And then you have a 3/8 reversible, so you can flip that around for other microphones, LEDs, whatever you might have that would fit 3/8. So there you have a couple of the unique differences between those arms. Now let's take a closer look how we actually put this whole thing together. All our pieces are unboxed and we are ready to assemble the tree here. So this is our most important piece. It's what connects to your desk. It's nice, it's rubberized here, it's not gonna scratch, it's fully metal so it can support the weight, whatever you're gonna put on this. Before I put that on the desk, I'm just gonna take the rest of our center column here and just thread that in. So just screw it all the way in there. Once it stops, just give it a little tighten and we are good to now mount this. We're just gonna slide this onto the desk here, tighten down the knob. You don't have to over tighten it. And now you can see it's nice and secure. Now we're ready to add our arms on here, and just a word of warning, make sure the knobs are down, otherwise you're going to put that upside down. All we need to do to prep this, just loosen off this knob here, and you'll notice that there's a plastic sleeve in there. That's to create tension on the center column and prevent metal on metal scratching. So all we do, go over to the top here, make sure it kind of lines up flush, and then all I'm doing, you might have to wiggle it back and forth, just slide it down. Once you hit the joint right here, you'll feel a little resistance, and then you can just push down on top of that. Once we're down where we want it, we can lock it into place. And now we're ready to take a look at this. And this is our 1/4 inch knob here. So we can do a number of things with that. I could take my ball head if I wanted, screw it directly on there. Or I also have my phone clip. I can direct mount that way. Or I can take my center column, which is actually really useful. And I can make, it's not the center column, but it's an additional riser. I can then take my ball head, screw onto that if I want, or the foam clip, whichever one you prefer, and then go over here, thread that guy in, and you have a knob on the bottom just so you can make it easy to tighten. And there we go, we have the riser. And you'll notice that these are a bit loose right now just because I have them fully loose here. But once we position it, then I tighten them and they're going to strengthen up, and now we can throw our camera on top of that. Next one I'm going to put on is our microphone, which is not that one. You can tell the difference between the hole there. So here I have like a 5/8 inch hole on that, and on this one right here, it's a 1/2 inch. So the 1/2 inch one is their microphone. And I did mention before that if you're not using the optional microphone boom arm, then you might not even want to put this one on. I'm going to throw it on there, but otherwise there might not be a use for it. But same thing, just loosen that knob, line it up, slide it down, and then we can lock that guy into place as well. Lastly, we have our one that fits the spigot. And again, knobs down, line it up, slide it in. And so you can see it kind of gets chaotic with all these arms going everywhere, but they're really easy to move up and down. Again, loosen this, that's going to go side to side. Loosen this guy and go up and down really easy. If you have a load on this and it's kind of putting tension, you might just want to stabilize it. It makes it easier to go up and down. Otherwise, if you just try to pull it down, it's going to want to chatter like that. But for this one, we have our spigot, so you can choose whichever way you want to put that in, 1/4 inch or 3/8. Drop it in, and then add any accessory you want. So there you go. We're fully assembled in just a couple minutes. You can decide which position you want. You don't have to slide them on this order. Whatever works for you is going to be perfect. If you purchase the optional mic boom, you're going to get 2 pieces with that. We'll have the actual boom itself and the clip, and it's really easy to assemble. On the clip here, you're going to notice this little rotating ring. Pop that off and pop it onto this ball head. It'll slide right over. And then the actual clip will just pop over, just a little bit of friction. You don't have to force it too hard. It'll slide over there. And now we can just tighten that clip ring. And that just allows us to position that clip wherever we want and then lock it into place. You'll just tighten it down that way. From there, we just go to our arm that has the 1/2 inch hole, loosen that off, drop it in, and then tighten it down. And then you can articulate this wherever you want, manipulate it up, down, and then rotate the actual clip over on the end. So there you go, assemble the microphone arm really easily. I wanted to show you a really useful setup if you're a food photographer or you're just doing general tabletop photography. Maybe you're shooting products for a Shopify store or something like that. This can be really handy. So what I'm gonna do is actually take the center column off just because it's easier to screw this onto my camera rather than taking my camera up here and trying to twist it around. I have the nice big knob down there so I can just easily loosen that. Then what I'm gonna do is make sure that my ball head is secure, and I'm just gonna thread this directly in to the bottom of my camera. I don't need any extra pieces. This is all included. So you're gonna have your ball head there. Once it's nice and snug, don't over tighten it. You can use this little slider on the bottom here, or this dial, to tighten it up against the bottom of your camera. Then I'm going to put that back on the bottom here. Make sure I spin it the right way. Don't worry which way the camera's pointing or anything. We can easily manipulate that. So here's the awesome thing about this little ball head is I can loosen that off, and there's a little notch there that allows me to shoot straight down. So I would go position that camera facing down towards the table. Now what I can do is position this directly over the food. Maybe you don't even want this riser actually. So maybe you're using a different lens and this is getting into the way. You could just mount the ball head directly on this without the riser, but I'll just show you this way. So I can actually stretch quite far across a table. If you're at a restaurant, you could just bring this whole thing with you, clamp it to the side of one of the restaurant tables, and you're gonna be ready to set up. So now I'm shooting straight down. I can move that up and down if I want to. I need a little bit more height, no problem. Bring it up. And now all I need is my light, so I can easily bring this one across, take my light, this is the arm with the spigot, drop the spigot in there, position this wherever I want, flip on my light, and now I'm ready to shoot tabletop shots, food photography, whatever you want. So I just wanted to show you how useful that little ball head can be. So that's everything you need to know about the Strobepro Gear Tree stand. It's a simple and efficient way to take a number of things like your camera, a light, a microphone, put them all in one stand to save tons of space on your desk, and you can easily manipulate it, move it around, raise and lower wherever you need to. So be sure to check out the options if you need the microphone arm, which is sold separately. Otherwise, you can just pick up the Gear Tree and start filming right away. Until next time, I'm Jesse at strobepro.com, and enjoy creating.